Okay, so we're going to look at IELTS Task 2 and how to approach a question. So there's different strategies you can use when you sit down to do the exam. And a lot of the times by this time you are feeling maybe tired. You've done other parts of the exam, you've done the Task 1, and you get to IELTS Task 2 and it's more work and it's a harder part of the exam. It's the hardest for most people. So I'm going to show you how to manage yourself and how to manage the writing this question. So most of the exam gets written just in that first couple of minutes when you're looking at the question. And yeah, I say a couple of minutes because you must engage with the question. There are 4 parts that you're being marked on, and they're 25% each. And if you rush and skip over them and don't think about them, your mark drops no matter how hard you've worked to prepare. So you've got task achievement, cohesion and coherence, vocabulary, and your grammar. So if you focus a lot on grammar and on your vocabulary, I mean, that takes ages to learn in English, and it's much faster to get your task achievement right. So we're going to focus on that first. That's 25% of your mark. And task achievement just means you read the question, you understood the question, and you addressed the question. You responded to the question in your essay. And that 25% happens in the first minute or so. So we're just going to go really slowly. And what is the question stating? So, due to the development of and rapid expansion of supermarkets in some countries, many small local businesses are unable to compete. Okay, so they've just made a statement there. So I would say for you to do a line like this with your pen, so you know there's a break there. I mean, there is a break there as a period, it's obvious, but when what you're going to do with this is as you're writing your essay, you're going to look back at the question at certain points that I'm going to teach you, and you're going to use this as a marker. It'll be really quick for you. So in your mind, you're separating different areas, because that's a statement. Local businesses are unable to compete. And then you're going to circle that. I'll put it in bold, but you're going to circle that so that you look back and you go, oh yeah, that's what they said. Right? So it's a quick reference. What is the question asking me to do? Well, it hasn't asked you to do anything yet. It's just said that small local businesses are unable to compete. Okay, so some people think that the closure of local businesses will bring about the death of local communities. Okay, so some people think that is just, I mean, you could delete it here or cross it out. Some people think that doesn't mean anything. The closure of local businesses, okay, so we have this here. It's basically that. Bring about the death of the local community. Okay, so that death of local communities is the bold statement that they're making. Okay, and then it's agree, disagree, right? So there's usually an extreme statement. Okay, so the question is, what is the question asking me to do? It's asking you to agree or disagree with what? With this idea that there will be a death of local communities. So there's an extreme statement, and this extreme statement is death, because that is complete and final, and there's no 50-50 there. And when I see something like that, and you see a lot of them, it's easy to argue against. Okay, so maybe we can put that as number 6. Look for the extreme position and argue against it. You don't have to argue against it. It's just much easier. So how would you prove that local communities will die? That's difficult, right? Local communities will die because some shops closed. It actually doesn't even make any sense. So it's easier to think, well, no, they won't die completely. And then you think, well, okay, so I'll write this for you. They won't die completely. So where will the community be? And that's your job, is now you're going to answer this question for yourself. Where would they be? And I would say in cafes, in restaurants, and if you wanted to, things like community centers. So communities don't rely entirely on supermarkets. That's nonsense. So it's really, really easy. Whether I agree with it or not doesn't matter. It's just we want to find something easy so you can show the examiner you understood and you were able to come up with reasons why. Okay. So what are the, let's go down here, what are the, how many parts are there to the question? So there's just one part, agree or disagree. Now, it is agree or disagree, not agree and disagree. So you're only doing one side, okay? Only do one side. And in this case, this is disagree. Okay. And what are the key points? Okay, we got that. And what do I know about this? Okay, we got that. We did that here, right? Okay, so now what happens for your task? We're going to do a video on band descriptors. And do yourself a favor and Google it. Look at the band descriptors and it tells you what you have to do for each banding. So what is it? What is a 9? What does it mean? What is an 8? What does it mean? Okay. And task achievement's one of them, which we're looking at here. And task achievement says you fully responded to the question or the task. Or you fully answered. So there wasn't like a part of it that you missed. You did everything they asked you to do. And here they asked you to either agree or disagree with the idea that there will be a death of local communities. And that's it. Okay, so that is the process you go through for any question. Any agree-disagree question. Okay, and I shall put my effortless English exam gmail.com. And good luck. And do email me if you have any questions.